Okay, we good? We good? Just gonna put this on.
If for someone who wants to lose body fat.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is what I get for wanting to test stream volume. I just want to double check because I'm not hearing output from my computer. So, do I usually get output from my computer?
If for someone who wants to lose body fat. Okay. Okay.
Okay, volume is working
This
just
is what I get
fine.
for wanting to.
Alrighty, so welcome everyone back to. Ugh. I'm not having the best life right now. So, welcome everyone back to another stream. So today I'm doing something different because I did get a new camera and I'm testing it out for streaming purposes. So I thought we'd go ahead and crochet a little Chubzilla this evening because I do want to make more crochet pieces for the market. And I figured instead of doing a drawing stream today with the camera's timely arrival, we go ahead and I'm realizing, hold on, how zoomed in is OBS? OBS isn't too bad. Or is that just... Okay, no, I'm just... I think I need a vacation. I need another vacation. Anyway, so I figured we go ahead and test out the new camera and test out a crochet stream because with the new camera that I have, it's the Extra Muse. So it's pretty much like the CGI Osmo Pocket 3, that it's a cute little hefty camera that it's small in size so that it's easy to place wherever I need it. So I'm hoping with this new camera we can do a little bit more. And I need to open up chat. Okay, there we go. So yeah, gonna be testing out the new camera this evening with a Chubzilla that I've been so tempted to make because I have been wanting to do a quote unquote very Chubzilla, and I have this kind of pomegranate, and then I also have gray orchid. So I think these two would make a very cute color combination for the Chubzilla. And we'll just go ahead and get started. I'm going to go and pull up the pattern. And so I'm gonna, oh, it's a little tight in here. I do not want to gut this entire thing, but it is getting stuck on itself. So it's getting tangled somewhere inside. Okay, there we go. There's a knot. You know, you'd think with how these yarns are pretty much rolled up that they wouldn't tangle from the inside, but you'd be mistaken. They tangle from the inside quite a bit. It can get annoying, especially because it causes tension when you don't need tension. I think this is slowly starting to lose enough that I can begin rolling it up into a cake. All right, there we go. Let me go ahead and pull up Chubzilla. I'm going to be, usually when it comes to the Chubzillas, I begin by working on the hands and the feet. So the challenge is going to be, how can I keep my hands in the frame at all times? Because I know when I'm working with my regular camera, I struggle with keeping my hands in frame because I tend to hold my crochet projects pretty close to my face. So that is a struggle and a challenge for me. So let me get a stitch marker and let me pull up Chubzilla. And the pattern that I use for the Chubzillas is, so this was a collaboration from Club Crochet and Geeky Hooker. So I use the pattern from Geeky Hooker over Club Crochet because I did notice there is a slight variation in how they write down their patterns. And I just prefer working with Geeky Hooker's version of the pattern. So magic circle. And I did buy like a small stand for this camera so that it can balance a little bit better, but for right now, without a tripod or anything like that, it's actually doing pretty well. I'm just very scared of accidentally moving the table and knocking it over. 4, 5, 6. Once I get a setup more in place, maybe you guys could see more from like, how do I say this? Eventually I'm going to figure out a setup so that you can see like the crochet from like top down so that you can see my hands like this. I consider turning the camera around so that like I could work with like almost hugging the camera while I work. But I realize that with the way it's currently hooked up, it's going to be a bit of a challenge with the way the wire is placed right now. So yeah, I'm gonna probably go to Walmart and get a slightly longer wire to make the camera setup a little bit easier if I'm gonna set the camera on the table. Especially if I'd ever decide to like do a setup from behind. Oh, the one thing I hate about velvet yarn is that it catches so easy. Okay. Part of the struggle when working with velvet yarn is just fighting the yarn, and I know I tied it too tight. I just need to loosen it up here a little bit. It took me forever to figure this out. But yeah, one of the things I don't like about velvet yarn is that it tends to do this. I don't know if it's just like notorious for Bernat velvet specifically, but single crochet. Wait. This is the arm, single crochet 1, then okay. Yeah, it's 1 single crochet, then increase. And the video quality, like the picture quality of this camera is really good too. It's like I just got it today, and I was doing my research between the Osmo Pocket 3 and one of these Sony cameras. And I mentioned this during the vlog, but one of the things I'm considering is just investing in something. Well, I was planning on investing on the Osmo Pocket 3, and then at a later date getting a Sony for other uses. But I managed to find the Extra Muse when I looked up alternatives, and there's a lot of speculations that they're actually the same camera. So, did I do this right? I think I increased somewhere I shouldn't have. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I crocheted into somewhere I shouldn't have. But there's a lot of, like, when I was doing my research, there's a lot of speculations that the Muse is literally the Osmo Pocket 3 just rebranded. So you can probably look into that. But there were a few speculations saying that they were identical cameras, and I'm going to have to loosen up how I do that. So usually when it comes to the Chubzillas, I like making their body parts first and then doing the main body because I don't know, I just prefer doing it that way. Oh, twisted. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a slow crocheter or if I just struggle with my yarn too much. And then 9. But yeah, thankfully I found the Extra Muse while I was doing research for the Osmo Pocket 3 and was reading a lot. Apparently the Osmo Pocket 4 also just came out, so I was also considering that, but then read a lot online that it wasn't getting released to the States because of tariffs. And so, yeah, ended up getting the Muse instead. It also came out cheaper than the Pocket 3. And so far, like I'm loving this little guy. Oh Jesus. Eight, so we need to crochet one more. Yeah, and I feel like I skipped a stitch somewhere. It's fine. So thankfully the arms and legs for the Chubzillas are relatively quick to make because they're such small pieces. Yeah? Yeah. Where's the first stitch in this row? Yeah, it's that one. Also, another news. If you guys wait for the vote for the vlog, you'll only get this news next week. But long story short, so I ended up buying another order of stickers from Sticker App because I didn't see an update from Vogue Race in terms of the stickers. So I ended up deciding that I worked really hard on making sure I had these designs for the market and that I would have stickers for this market. So I ended up putting in an order with Sticker App. And thankfully, with Sticker App, the production per sticker is still under $1, like barely under $1, like 99 cents under $1, just barely, like very barely. And so I put in another order with Sticker App because at the very least, hopefully they'll get it here by not this Thursday, but next Thursday. And so I placed my order with Sticker App, and then coming home from work today, I see a package on my doorstep. And at first, I think it's going to be the fan merch that I ordered for All for the Game, and it wasn't. It was actually the stickers from Vogue Race. And the stickers came on time. Good news. That's the good news. But that means I also put in an order with Sticker App. I'm telling myself that the silver lining is that at the very least now I'll have two different brands to compare. But at the same time that I spent more than I needed to for this market. But in my defense, I didn't get any form of update from Vogue Race in regards to my order, and I pretty much just relied on the statuses from their online portal. So, like, I even showed it in the blog when I got home from work because I needed to check if the status had updated without me knowing. And so I checked the status on Vogue Race, and according to Vogue Race, they're still in production. Like on their online portal, it still shows as in production. So the other thing is too is that I never got a shipping email letting me know that the that the stickers shipped out. So I was still under the impression that they were still in production. I didn't know they had shipped out. So I didn't get any form of notification that they were already on the way. If I knew, I would not have placed that order with Sticker App. But like I said, I'm trying to convince myself that the silver lining is that I now have stickers from two different manufacturers that I can compare. And if one of the things I did mention during the vlog is that if I find out that Sticker App's quality is worth spending more compared to Vogue Race, then I'll probably continue using Sticker App in the future. The other one that I do want to try is Catprint because I also did happen to get a quote from Catprint, or like I finally got a response from Catprint giving me a quote for the stickers. But it's a little too late for that, and they would have come out a little bit cheaper on cat print, but it would have been $300, but it would have been 20 of each design versus 35 of each design with sticker wrap. So I would need to, like, I want to see a comparison between the two. But yeah, Caprin did also get back to me, so I'm going to I want to try them in the future, and I will have to try them at some point in the future. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're good. So I do want to try them at some point in the future. Just at the moment, sticker wrap happened to be the quicker option of the two. So, oh yeah, the thing I forgot to mention, it would have been $300 for just the stickers. If I needed to do like a rush shipment, they did have shipping options that would have been able to rush the stickers over my way. But that would have been at the cheapest $40 for shipping and handling. And sticker wrap does have free shipping for the order quantity that I got. So there is that. Come through. Oh, this thing is going to be a bitch to sew with later. Yeah, this is like my one gripe over Bernat velvet yarn, because after using the baby bear yarn, and I do have a velvet yarn from another brand that I found off of Amazon. I also have another 3-pack coming in, because when I ordered the stand for this, in order to get the free shipping, I ordered yet another book. And I also ordered a pack of 3 for this really cute colored yarn that I really want to use. I just don't know what I'm going to use it on yet. But yeah, the ads. Okay, so the feet. Okay, please let the center be easy to find. I know I've mentioned this before, but velvet yarn is actually one of the yarns that you actually don't want to put too much friction on. But I personally prefer pulling from the center, because I cannot stand the skein rolling all over the place. Sometimes I will just go from the outside, but it's not my preferred way of using it. Because yeah, I understand you don't want to put too much friction on this type of yarn, but I prefer working from the center of the skein. I genuinely just make my own problems. Okay, come on. Oh, this thing, the entire center is gonna fall out of this thing. Okay, just need to do my, come on, you got this. Come on, little guy. Oh, the entire center is gonna come out. I can feel it. Yeah, there's, the entire center came out. Now, let's see if I can find the end. I just wish, like, I know, I think Red Heart does this, but actually I'm not sure if it's Red Heart for sure, because when I started crocheting, the 2 brands that I would buy from a lot was Big Twist and Red Heart, because they had some really cute colors and they were just a much more affordable yarn brand. And my mother enabled me to get as many of every color as I could as I got started. So I have plenty of acrylic yarn that I should use. Which, oh, there it is. right in my hand. So that's going to be a mess for later. You know what? Let me go ahead and just start making the body parts for the other Chubzilla as well to pathetically use up the amount of yarn that is currently outside of the Chubzilla or outside of the skein. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making the other pair of hands. I know I should be working on other I should be working on other 1, 2, 3, 4. I should be working on a different pattern because there are more patterns out of the fantasy book that I want to do. But just to keep things easy for me, especially since the fantasy amigurumi would require me to just pull out the book again. So for now, we'll just work with this. I was talking about something earlier. I forgot what it was. What happened to my... Yeah, there's like a little bit of a fuzzy area here that is just like, I don't know why the yarn is like that, but the little yarn is like that. And we just work with it. Thankfully, the arms and legs are relatively easy. It's just that the way I do the legs, it's going to get very confusing because I like to do seamless transitions. Like I tell people, like I just have a thing for making my life more difficult than it needs to be. Keeps things exciting, keeps my brain busy. I think, yeah, the feet is, yeah, just... Go bananas, go banana. So like so I've been listening to a lot of Jaguar Twin lately, and he's just got a lot of very catchy parts to his songs that like sometimes like it'll jump, the earworm will jump between his songs specifically. Where is the... oh my gosh. Sometimes you need to take a step back because I have no idea where that stitch was supposed to come in. Ta-da. Okay, there we go. Sometimes taking a step back to move forward is needed. The only thing about this is that I am shrimping right now, which is not good. Okay, I unshrimped my back. You know, I think if we do like the crochet videos like this, so well, then again, this is roughly around my chest area. I just need to figure out a position for the camera where I'm just like this isn't OnlyFans. Like this is not an OnlyFans. Like there are like I tried filming some speed crochet videos just like my torso, but then I just did not like it because at least in the winter I can get away with it because I'm wearing my sweaters. So I look like a blob. I look and feel like a blob. But in the summer, the blob has more definition. So we don't need to see that. And what I'm hoping for in the future is to have the camera set up from like somewhere above me from behind so that I can aim it down to my hands. So that is going to be one goal for the setup in the future. And I think the only time I'll be able to accomplish that is if I'm in my living room working near the counter to the kitchen. Okay. So now for the other hand, just going to loosen up a little bit so I'm not working with too much tension on the yarn. So this is going to be another arm. Also, I should talk about some of like the books I've been listening to. Did I mention that I got Little Liar? So if you haven't realized by now, I do enjoy A Little Stranger. Definitely one of the books along the lines of, is it well written? Maybe not, no. But I stick around for Malachi. I love Malachi too much. Like, Malachi is a type of unhinged and nuts and crazy that I need out of Caleb. Like, in full, please let Caleb off his leash already. We need it. We need that feral boy. Because they do not make yanderes like they used to. The yanderes I grew up with as a kid would not hesitate to stab everyone, including their love interest. Like, to be completely honest, like, there was a time where Yuno Gasai was like the yandere. Personally, I didn't like her dynamic with Akiteru. Akiteru annoyed me, yet then again, I did ship him with Akise, so I don't know what that says. I guess I just want, like, I don't know. I don't know. But I think Yuno could have done better. Yuno could have done better. Like, of all the men, you went for that one? But yeah, like, I remember, like, Yuno Gasai was like the standard for yandere characters. Like, I think she was like, she walked around as like the yandere queen for a while. But yeah, no, the girl was literally hanging by not even a thread. She was hanging on by a string. No, string's thicker than a thread. You know, like the string of saliva? Yeah, that's what she was hanging on by. Her mental state was hanging on by that, like, yeah, no. It's her mental state was completely, like, entirely girl. But yeah, no, Yuno Gasai was the standard, and like there was also School Days. I've always wanted to watch School Days, but I just never got around to it. Although I watched the AMVs, I know the spoilers, I know how it ends. And like it's still on my to watch list. Actually, with this camera, I'm doing a better job keeping my hands in frame. Ooh, I missed a stitch. Okay, yeah, I thought that looked a little odd. But it doesn't seem like it's... I messed up somewhere. See, the thing is, I should count my stitches, but I also don't want this stream to turn into like a counting vlog where all I'm doing is just counting my stitches. Yeah, I missed an increase. Did I miss an increase? Shoot. Because I know I counted 6. Sometimes you need to take that step back. If anything, this is proving I can't crochet, count, and talk at the same time. Because I also don't want this to turn into like, the thing is, like, I used to like do group calls for crochet. But then again, like, one thing I noticed is that whenever we needed to count, like, we'd all go quiet. And be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm silent. I just need to count this really quick. Back then I was still learning though. Like at some point, like you can just feel when you're off. Yeah, so this yarn is a little bit more agreeable to the tight. Starting to feel a headache. I haven't been feeling well the past few days, to be completely honest. Life keeps lifing, and I want it to stop. Also, I like, there are parts of you that think like, oh, I'm over my people pleasing phase, and then you realize like, nope, I still very much care about the people pleasing part, and it's like, I thought we were past this. What happened to fuck everyone? Okay, I lost the... Okay, I think the yarn could already tell what I was about to do to it. Okay, here we are. And it's kind of ironic that the pomegranate is beginning to tangle with the gray lilac, because that is exactly what we're going to be doing to make the feet. So like I said, I like doing a seamless transition. And to do the seamless transition, you're pretty much just like crossing the thread or the yarn, and you're pretty much swapping out between the two colors. I'm holding it, aren't I? Where did it go? I was holding it. Like legit. Oh, there it is. Are you kidding me? Please note, Sky's brain is not all here, and I question if it's even in this plane of existence right now sometimes. Yeah, so it's kind of getting tangled in the center. There we go. Mm-hmm. I keep losing the... Oh my, okay. There we go. No, I will never get my shit together. I think that's a conclusion I'm slowly reaching, is I will never get my shit together. You know what? That's fine. I haven't done my tarot pulls for this week. Shit. Do it. Maybe I'll do it before bed. I still need to try out the new tarot deck, but I'm feeling Soul Splash for this week. I need to be screamed at. Also, the other thing too is I'm probably going to bring this camera with me to the market so I can film. Because, I'll be honest, I was not planning on bringing my DSLR, which I've never gotten the chance to actually show it, but the vlogs up to this point have been filmed using this, which it's a really good camera. It's just very heavy. And Not to mention kind of big and kind of clunky, so it's kind of hard to set down so I can film without a tripod. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I wanted to get something a little bit on the smaller side. But I also did not realize just how expensive cameras have gotten since I bought my first point and shoot camera when I was a teenager. So yeah, thankfully I found this one for a really good price. Like, I was expecting to spend $500, but I was able to find this one for $300, so I'm happy. After this market, there's like a lot of projects that I want to resume. Like, for example, Hellbound has been pretty much put on hold indefinitely until like I get through this market. Okay. And then this is where the color change happens. That is the other foot. That is the end. So pretty much when I do color, I also do make a habit of tying the ends because everything ends up on the inside anyway, so no one's gonna know that you tie things in knots too, just to like be extra safe and secure. So yeah, sorry. Sometimes I forget that I need to put my camera. Actually, you know what? I kind of fucked up. Sometimes, like with the color transitions, I forget which one I'm supposed to put on bottom, especially with how I tend to transition between my my rows. Yeah, so that's gonna go there. Because the thing is, I do the slip stitch slip stitch chain single crochet combo whenever I finish off a row, because I just personally like how it evens out. Okay, so this is did I do more than what I was supposed to? No, this is fine. Yeah, because sorry, I confused myself just now. Because the instructions read single crochet 2 in 1 stitch 6 times, changing to spring green yarn in the last stitch. So you pretty much do 12 single. You do the increases all around this round, then at the very end you switch yarns. Okay. Yeah, that's sometimes I'll be honest, that's where I kind of get a little bit confused with Geeky Hooker's patterns, because she kind of details them a little bit differently than from what I'm used to. So sometimes I get a little lost and confused. But we got it. Everything is fine. There is no war embossing, say. And then from here, it's just going to be the color change all around. So this is what I'm referring to is you pretty much you never cut off the other yarn, so you're pretty much twisting them around each other as you go along. However, I will say is that you do end up in a situation where they do twirl around each other, so that's to be expected. And if you're working on larger pieces, it's very easy for them to wrap around each other tight enough that it's kind of hard to pull through the yarn. But yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's more of an issue with larger pieces. I know I do this technique whenever I need to swap colors for my blanket, and because that blanket is how many stitches all around, like it can get a little annoying with that one specifically. And if anyone wants to learn how to do this, Club Crochet is how I learned how to do this type of transition. So if any, I could always do the tutorial myself, but I would need to come up with a better camera angle for how to do it, to show how to do it. Would anyone be interested in like crochet tutorials and art tutorials and anything of that jazz, like just crafts in general? I need to stop picking up new hobbies because I'm dangerously close to picking up book rebinding. Like we're getting very dangerously close to that one. And then from here, pretty much, the base was purple, so you just cut off the purple one. And because this is still kind of short enough, you can slide the purple, if I can find it. You can pretty much just slide the purple and you're left with just your yarn again. But while you're working, sometimes it does get annoying once it starts getting a little too long. And like I said, personally, I do prefer tying them. Like I remember watching a video and somebody said it's so unclean, it's so unprofessional, but at the end of the day, if it keeps the amigurumi secure, in my opinion, like gives it a little bit more security in the back, because at the end of the day, this gets hidden inside the amigurumi. So like for me, it's just an extra layer of assurance that it's not going to move from. I accidentally tied the stitch marker into those knots, didn't I? Okay, come on. Okay, I tied one, but anyway, moving on. And then it's just going to be, yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then this is going to be the last row. And then we'll have 1 foot, except I lost the crochet I just came out of. I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, didn't even put the stretch marker back in there, but it's okay. I know where I'm at. No, that's always the thing about Bernat velvet yarn is like the skeins that like to do this are very inconsistent. Like some of them won't do it at all, but then there's the others that like even apply the smallest amount of pressure, all of a sudden it's just like it's too fat to fit through. It goes from behaving like an octopus to like an oversized chihuahua trying to get through a baby gate. I don't think I picked up the right. I did not pick up the right. Part of crocheting is like fighting with your yarn. Like the crocheting itself doesn't take the longest time. It's trying to get the yarn tip. I swear to God, if I snap it by accident. You know what? that, I think this was, yeah, this was a slip stitch. It's fine. Because usually I like doing a slip stitch, then a chain one just to hold it secure in place. But it's fine. It's fine. We're not going to do the chain one because somebody decided to be a diva today. Okay, so now for the purple. Okay. I've done enough Chubzillas that, like, I keep the pattern open for reference, but I more or less have an idea of what I need to do in what order. Because this yarn has been pretty much hanging out because I've been meaning to make this Chubzilla color combination. I want to do a Neapolitan like the ice cream theme one, and that will have to wait because I do need to prioritize getting more fantasy creatures for the table. And I'm thinking of doing some gargoyles because I think that's going to be different, but I don't want to make too many of them in the case they're not going to sell all too well, because can't imagine many people who would want a gargoyle amigurumi. But I'm going to make a couple just to have something different outside of like the typical dragons. And I still want to make the phoenix. So this is going to be increases all around. Ooh, shoot, I forgot to change the tags for the stream. I'll fix it before. Yeah, because I'm so used to everything being set up for drawing streams. I need to start setting up like a document with all my tags and titles just to make my life a little bit easier. Go bananas, go bananas. Also, another exciting news. So I'm pretty sure everyone here already knows that I did get a Yeti to practice like voiceovers and audiobook readings. And so over the weekend, Harbor Freight did have a sale on, which I also did buy Taco Bell for breakfast, but that's going to be a different review. But anyway, I did. So Harbor Freight had a sale on moving blankets. So I managed to get one of the oversized ones. I kind of low-key regret not getting one more. I regret not getting one more. But where was I getting with this? But I do have the moving blankets because I don't really have the closet space to set up like a mini recording studio inside my closet. So the next best thing that I saw in terms of setting up like your own little recording studio advice was getting moving blankets and pretty much just setting yourself up in like a makeshift pillow fort, which that I can do. So gonna try to set that up like again once the market is over and I have a little bit more time and I'm not as fixated on getting as much as possible out. I'm gonna like set that stuff up and literally give myself the breaks I need because I have not been very good at that. So but yeah, I bought some moving blankets to kind of create a makeshift recording setup. And again, don't know if I would pursue voice acting professionally, but it is something just like for funsies that looks like fun. So ooh, and I also like which blog did I mention it in? But I got a new Splatterpunk title, and it's a collection of short stories. So I'm thinking like, oh, just for like quick, easy practice, I could try narrating those short stories. So that way, it's like I'm not like fully bogged down by a full-length novel. So I'm thinking a good place to get a little bit of practice would be going with those short stories for a little bit. I forgot to check if I'm even in frame. I think at the very least, before the stream ends, like we'll have the body parts at the very least. Because getting 2 Chubzillas done within 2 days is perfectly doable. Oopsies. I accidentally increased in one. Okay, no, yeah, sorry, not in screen. So I'm gonna get better at that. Like, thankfully the capture is a little bit more taller compared to my DSLR, but I still need to keep in mind like it's not as big as I think it is. I'm shrimping. Okay, we're good. And then the next one is just gonna be, okay, just cut you, get you detangled. At the very least, I think so long as we can get the little limbs done today, I think that'll be my happy place. Because I need to put in a job application, but I was not expecting that job application to require doing a post request, like an HTTP post request that I'm running into issues. I thought I'd be able to just touch up my resume, put in my CV, but now the career I'm supposed to be the expert at is biting me in the ass. So, hooray, computers. Yeah, because I keep getting errors because this is like the first time I had to write a curl request. So I am trying looking at Stack Overflow, but I keep getting errors and I'm just like, I don't know if this job posting is legit anymore. Or if they're like really weeding out the week early. But I'm stubborn and persistent, if anything. So, like, I want it to work. Not to mention, I already put in the time and effort into touching up my resume and CV for this position. So, you're gonna like, I'm like, if it kills me, you know what? That's not the worst scenario. Have I mentioned my mental state hasn't been in the best place? So, if I make a lot of death jokes, that is how I cope. If I say I'm fine, at the very least, I'm still breathing. That's all that matters. I am still breathing. Like, Am I okay? I'm gonna need you to define that question. Like, define what you mean by okay. Because if you mean breathing, yeah, we're still here. If you mean emotionally or psychologically stable, I plead the fifth. Snip, snip. Just reminds me of this one time I was drawing out a diagram for a friend. And because of the topic can be sensitive, I'm not going to go too into detail about it, but she pretty much looked at me and she just like her jaw dropped. She was kind of like low-key concerned laughing. And she looked at me and was like, "Is this how you cope? Is this how you cope?" And I'm just like, yeah, this is how I cope. It's kept me alive this long. Is it recommended or healthy by trained specialists? Probably not. But I'm still breathing, aren't I? I'm still breathing. I think it's good enough that I'm still breathing. I haven't completely given up yet, given I'm still breathing. As much as I want to. Yeah, there's a bit of a nodding situation here. I want to loosen it up before I get to work because I hate having to detangle when I have the project. Like, seriously, how do these things how do these things tangle from the inside? You'd think that'd be the last place there'd be like a shit ton of tangles. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, there we go. It started fraying, but it didn't completely fall apart, so that's a win. Ooh, I could have whipped out the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I just need to remember I can't go too tight on those slip stitches with this yarn because this one is like it likes to catch like it was paid to do that. Like it was that's what it was made to do. It's just fall apart. Which kind of reminds me of like Dilly and Dally. Like there's the audio. I saw it with them first, but essentially the audio is like I'm built different, incorrectly built, but built different. That's me. Dark humor is how I cope, y'all. It's okay. And one of the jokes that I always use, because I do have a degree in computer science, they took my sanity at the door and never gave it back. Everything is fine. Now to find, I need to just put that purple end down in the same place. Okay, I found it. 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 Go bananas, go bananas. See, it's funny because my brain is just like, I just want to despair, but then bananas, go bananas. Yeah, yeah. It's literally, I am. Okay, there we go. Like literally, it's like, you know how they say, "Not my monkeys, not my circus." Well, oh shit, those are my monkeys, and that is my circus. Well, I'm the monkey, and this is my circus. So that's pretty much what my life feels like sometimes. I just want to live in isolation in the Appalachians with a corgi named Nougat, where we paint and draw all day and then hunt Bigfoot at night. That is literally my dream. Like, get me away from society. I just want to draw. Like, I just want to make art. I just want to make things. But I need to survive and exist in society. Was not built for this life. That's what it feels like most days. And the thing is, it's like for me, like sometimes I think about living in complete isolation, and it scares me just how comforting that thought is. And there goes my neck. I want to get at least the feet and maybe even the tail. Because the thing I like to do is like get all the pieces that need to be sewn on done the night before and then work on the body the next day. That way I can just make the bodies and then do all the sewing in one go. And then I have 2 Chubzillas. And you know, I think I'm probably going to batch the gargoyles like that too, like I did with the jackalopes. And then just focus on sewing in one sit down. I realize I'm out of frame again, aren't I? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just like sometimes like when I crochet, I work so close to my face that I forget. And I don't think I would, no, yeah, I pulled up the wrong color. Also, I think I just need to read Gay Smut. I need Gay Smut in my life. I have a lot of Gay Smut I need to catch up on. There's Gay Smut I need to write. Like, I have Yuri ideas for like Yuri Fix and Yaoi. Just, I must exist in society first, which is unfortunate. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I will say this about the pomegranate. It stayed inside its skein. This hook is going to fall down. Like, yeah, it wants to fall. Eep. Oh, yeah, more fraying yarn. Anywho. I really need to clean up my living room. It's gone to shit since I started prepping for this market. Like, everything started falling apart when all the yarn came out. The other thing I need to do is get product photos out. I think the Saturday after the market is going to be like a photography day, maybe, if I don't designate it as like a rest day. Because now with it being warmer, like I want to try taking pictures outside in the grass instead of trying to do everything from indoors. And I'm going to start looking at like how other people do their product listings, because one of the things I noticed from the person I bought my All for the Game merch from is that they will do just like the cutouts of the images themselves and then the image of the product itself. So I kind of want to try doing that. So yeah, there's like, especially after my phone got stolen, like there's a lot of revisions I want to do for the product listings. And this time around, I think I'm going to actually put in a little bit more effort and mess with the settings of the DSLR so that I'm actually capturing something that's a little nicer. Because admittedly, like a lot of the product photos that I have been taken were with my old phone. I think now that I have the camera out more consistently, and I have this little guy I can probably film while I'm shooting. So it's kind of, it feels, I understand why, I'm beginning to slowly understand why people keep multiple cameras. Because especially when you're vlogging, makes it easier to film and do stuff with the other cameras, like, and not B-roll, but the more you begin to do things, the more you realize why certain people have their processes the way they do. Like, for example, with my sticker order yesterday, with the amount I paid, that is just like, I could have bought 2 crickets. But right now, the way it stands, like I do not have the space for 2 crickets. So we're going to continue relying on manufacturers until we have like a good space to set up for like actually making stuff, because I don't have space for like an actual like making corner or like a manufacturing corner. I don't know the best way to say it, but right now we work with what we have available, and thankfully I do have the ability to spend on getting things manufactured. So silver linings, because I do recognize given I do still work a full-time job that pays pretty well. Like I understand I'm in a position of privilege that a lot of people don't really have. Like especially with the sticker orders, like it hurts. I made a stupid mistake ordering sticker app from sticker app as well, but like I'm in a position where that stupid mistake I can come back from. But I know a lot of people who don't have that kind of luxury when it comes to running a small business. So gotta find the silver linings where they are. Because on one hand, it could be worse. On the other hand, like, yeah, that was a pretty stupid move. But at the end of the day, there are lessons learned there. And I would like to revise something I said about Vogue Race. So Vogue Race, at the very least, needs 3 to 4 weeks to get orders out. If you want something that's a little bit more faster, sticker app does have does take 5 to 7 days. So if speed, if you need something fast, sticker app. Vogue Race, if you have a little bit more time and it's not as like time sensitive, if you give them at least 3 weeks, like they'll get your stuff out. That's what I've learned this round. Also, I will say, like, having the like time pressure of the market has been an amazing catalyst for me to like actually work on merch and products. Like, it kind of got in the way of working on my marketing skills because I feel tired most days, and like half the time it feels like I'm running on fumes. But I will say, like, having the market kind of light a fire under my ass to get things done just so that I can make sure I have enough to fill out a table. Like, it's done wonders for me to like actually create and push products out the door, because I can guarantee you the latch TVs would not have gotten finished. Like, they would not be done by this point in time if it weren't for the market, because I would have reserved them solely for vlog days, and I would have just been working one at a time. And I'm realizing that I need to batch my process if I want to make sure that I'm making series. Because the other one that I need to like get back on top of is the lads pole dancing AU. But for streams, I started doing the Sage 04 DVD AU, which once I start drawing in the blood on the boys, I think I might take that piece offline. Because again, like, I understand that YouTube lets you stream violent video games, but I don't know how far I can get away as an artist with TOS, because let's be honest, I have not read TOS because I just got other shit I need to worry about. Okay, so let's see. Gotta cut the red wire. And oopsie. Pull. I was about to make one more foot. And I probably won't get to the tail tonight because there are other things I need to take care of. So I'm just gonna wrap up this foot, and then we'll call it, and we'll call time on the stream. So just gonna finish this last row. I do enjoy crocheting while streaming. Although I will say that I could probably get this done faster if I wasn't talking while trying to crochet. Like, I'll be honest on that piece. But I did enjoy doing the crochet stream. So maybe like every other week we'll do a crochet stream, or I'll like set aside 2 days, one for crochet, one for art and drawing. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Because I wish I could do multiple streams in a day, like one pocket where we draw and then one pocket where we crochet. But again, I'm not in that position quite yet to do that. So I'm going to figure out days, and I know I keep saying it, but I do need to work on the graphic for stream announcements. So last stitch. Yeah, once the market is over, I'll have time to work on business assets again. Because this entire time I've just been more focused on making products. So we'll have 2 more Chubzillas for the market. So that's going to bring us up to 8 Chubzillas. 4 made of velvet, and then 4 made of the baby bear yarn. And then we'll have 6 jackalopes. I'm not counting the misfits. The Chubzillas don't have misfits because I followed a pattern. The jackalope does have 1 misfit though, mainly because it was my first attempt at it, and I was still like messing around with what size eyes I actually wanted. So it didn't really come out as good, and I was still figuring out how to get everything together. So that one isn't as like, the end result isn't as good as I would like it to be to justify pricing it higher, or like selling it at a regular price. But yeah, and then the dongos, I have 6 dongos, and then I have 1 misfit from the first attempt at the prototype. But yeah, and then we have Nessie, and Nessie's still missing her hind flippers. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining me this evening. We've gotten started with the Chubzillas and have his little legs and arms all done. And I'll slowly be working on them throughout the week. So thank you everybody for joining me this evening, and I'll see you in the next stream. Good night. I forgot my